Okay, so we're going to solve this quadratic here in 4 different ways. It's a difficult quadratic because it's got a odd number here, which means the completing the square part will be quite difficult. It will involve fractions. So we'll go through that quite slowly. Let's race on though with the factorisation, and we should be able to see that we've got a simple one. And we're going to look at product to make minus 18, and for that I think we're going to have a 9 times 2 will give us that, and if we have because we've got a positive sum, we'll end up with a plus 9 and a minus 2, so that's a plus 9 and a minus 2, and therefore the solutions are x equals minus 9 and x equals plus 2. And if we were to graph this, we're actually going to see that minus 9 is going to be over here, the plus 2 is going to be here. Because of this term here, the plus 7, the line of symmetry is going to be at minus 3.5, which we'll estimate as there. This can be minus 18, which is the intercept, and we can have a graph that comes through like this, dips down to a minimum point there and comes up, so we can see that the line of symmetry is there. One of the solutions is here, one of the solutions is there, and this is where it crosses the y-axis at minus 18. Now we're going to try and complete the square. So the x squared plus 7x part, minus 18 equals 0. This part I'm going to split up into x plus 7 over 2 all squared, half of it. Then I'm going to have 7 over 2 squared, too many, minus 7 over 2 all squared, minus 18 equals 0. What I'll end up with on this side is x plus 7 over 2 all squared is equal to, I'm going to take both of these things over to the other side. I'm going to square this term here to get 49 over 4. I'm going to change the minus 18 obviously into a plus, but I'm also going to change it into quarters. So if I times this by 4, I double it, get 36, double it again, I get 72. So I end up with that. Now, when I add these two things together, I get 121 over 4 is equal to x plus 7 over 2 squared. I get rid of the square root, in other words, I square root that side. And if I square root 121, I get 11, and if I square root 4, I get 2. And remember, because I've square rooted it, that is a plus or minus number, and that's equal to x plus 7 over 2. I take the 7 over 2 over to the other side, and I'm going to end up with x equals minus 7 over 2 plus or minus 11 over 2. So I end up with two sums, and the two sums I'm going to end up with is minus 7 over 2 minus 11 over 2, and minus 7 over 2 plus 11 over 2. And if you work that out, that's minus 18 over 2, which is minus 9. Correct from the first factorisation. And this one, which is going to be plus 4 over 2, which of course is plus 2, which again is checked and is correct. So let's move on to solving it using a formula. And when you solve it using a formula, you may just see some of these numbers here from the completing the square idea come out in the formula. So let's fill in the formula. B is 7, so it might help just write down A is 1, B equals 7, and C equals minus 18. Let's put in B, B is 7, so that's minus 7, plus or minus the square root of B squared, 7 squared, minus 4 times A times C. Don't forget that negative for the 18. All divided by 2A, so that's all divided by 2. Minus 7 plus or minus the square root of, well, that's 49. Minus 4 times minus 18. Well, we've done 18 times 4 over here. 18 times 4 is actually 72. And we can see minus times a minus is a plus 72 all over 2 minus 7 plus or minus 49 plus 72. Oh, I think we've done that before. It's 121 all over 2. We can see now that it is minus 7 plus or minus 11 over 2. The two sums we need to do are minus 7 minus 11 over 2, which is minus 18 over 2, which is minus 9. And the second one is minus 7 plus 11 over 2, which is plus 2 over, sorry, plus 4 over 2, which is plus 2. And we can see we have, right at the start, we got solutions of minus 9 and plus 2. We've graphed them to see what's going on, finding the line of symmetry. We've then completed the square and got the same two answers. And then we've used the formula and got the same two answers. If we want the minimum value of that equation at that point, what we do is we would substitute in x equals minus 3.5, and we would find the minimum value for y, in case you need to find that out as well. So that is solving quadratic equations in 4 different ways.